ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Please read the printed topic of the day. There is something printed, isn't it? I want that particular words.
Balance in outer and inner life.
Balance in outer and inner life. This is the topic. Today we will discuss, think, understand. As long as there is a concept of in and out, we are out of balance. Again I repeat, as long as there is a concept of in and out, we are out. And when the concept of in and out is out, we are happy. How? Let us say this watch is inside my pocket. This mobile phone is outside my pocket, in and out. Then the mobile phone is inside the room. Our tea stall is outside the room, in and out. Then our tea stall is inside AMA. Our cars are outside AMA. Then our cars are inside Ahmedabad. Bombay is outside Ahmedabad. Bombay is inside Maharashtra. So this in and out is always a relational experience in relation to something. So that conditioning which is creating the concept of in and out, if this conditioning is removed, like my shirt is torn away, there is no shirt. So can I say that the watch is inside the pocket and the phone is outside the pocket? No. So this in and out is creating all the problems of life. See, somebody came in my life. Then something happened, and thereafter the life has become a mess. So why do you allow anybody to come in? Get out. So what we do? Because somebody came in my life, I became miserable. What is the possible option? So I want to throw him out of my life. The whole life is this every moment international of in and out. There are two teams. One is the inner team, the second is the outer team. The outer team is a bowling team and the inner team is a batting team. The bowling team is never out. It is the batting team which is out. See, just observe the phenomena of life. So from outside, the whole world is bowling non-stop. And from inside, we are constantly not batting, battling. Isn't it? And then we want a peace between inner and outer life. This can never happen. Make it distinctly clear to yourself. The principle in the relative world, there is no absolute happiness. This is the principle. You cannot change it. And what is our struggle in life? Our struggle in life is that the other person should change according to my suitability. This has never happened. And all of us are trying, struggling, and utterly failing on this front, and yet not learning. So be very attentive. Experiences are happening inside, events are outside. Be very clear. Experiences are happening inside, events are happening outside. If outside events are leaving, L-E-A-V-I-N-G, if outside events are leaving, the scars, the dents and the wounds inside, there are pieces. No peace. If outside events, people, situations, places are not able to create dents, wounds inside, because we are learning from the external experiences. We are learning from the external events in life. Therefore, this in and out equation can be solved only by one method. And what is that one method? With every event, with everything that happens in our life, we have to learn from every experience. Those who do not learn from the experiences of their life, and those who learn from the experiences of their life, there is a clear-cut difference. Those who learn from the experiences of their life, they grow wise. Those who do not learn from the experiences of their life, they grow old and otherwise. Next, those who are wise and those who are otherwise, what is the difference? Gatasu na gatasunshcha nanu shochanti panditaha. Those who are panditaha, those who are wise, they grieve not. They are never miserable. And for what we become miserable? Gatasu na gatasunshcha. One day, one person asked me, Swamiji, you tell so many jokes. Bhagavad Gita is not a book of jokes. Where from you bring all kinds of funny jokes? They have no place in Bhagavad Gita. It is our scriptures, a very serious book. I said, that depends on how you read. Because I explained in one of my talk, in the 15th chapter, Sarvasya chaham hrudi sannivishtaha matta smrutir jnanam apohanancha vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyaha vedanta krudveda videva chaham. I said, see, Bhagwan said, Sarvasya chaham hrudi sannivishtaha. I am the tea in the hearts of everyone. Chaha, chai. Chaha. You know, Sarvasya chaham. Like jalam, water. Chai, chaham. After my talk was over, this serious Ananda, he came and he asked me, how can you bring tea when Bhagwan Sri Krishna was there? There was no tea. And even if it was there, he was taking only milk. I said, hey, don't tease me. He said, how come? I said, do you know, Bhagwan Sri Krishna had 16,000 wives from Assam. See, those 16,000 girls who were rescued by the Lord from Prag Jyotishpur, that Prag Jyotishpur is present day Guwahati. Now a person who has 16,000 father-in-laws and mother-in-laws from Assam, he will be taking bath in tea. What about taking tea? Sarvasya jaham hridhi sannivishtaha. So, Bhagwan Sri Krishna defines in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a book of wisdom and therefore of joy and happiness. Can we imagine a wise person like this? One of you husbands come to me and complain. Who is a husband? He is a creature who complains about another creature called as wife. That's why they say made for each other to complain. So husband comes and complains. Swamiji, I am so fed up because of my wife. I don't know what I should do. I should not be married. Starts. Now what is expected of me? I will say, come on, don't worry. You are not an isolated case. It is a virus. Wife is a virus. So she makes every husband miserable. So you are not abnormal. Come on, take it lightly. You become miserable because of wife because you take her seriously. Don't take her seriously, take her lightly. Yes, Swamiji has told me, now I am feeling good. Because when you told me your miseries, I did not become miserable, is it not? Then I am wise. Suppose you tell me your problem as a husband and I counteract. To be very frank with you, please don't tell anybody, but I am also very hurt and miserable. Swamiji, what happened to you? Because of the wife. You also have got wife? No. You are miserable because you have the wife. I am miserable because I don't have the wife. Will you call me wise? Gatasuna gatasuscha nanu shochanti panditaha. A wise person is he or she who does not grieve for two things. Now see the best joke of Bhagavad Gita. Gatasuna, when somebody dies, we are miserable, isn't it? And agata asuna, when somebody doesn't die, that time also we are miserable. Marta bhi nahi. So for us to be miserable, only somebody's death is not enough. Even if somebody is not dying, we are miserable. See? Therefore, have this principle deeply engraved on your understanding. In the relative world, don't seek for absolute happiness. Then what is to be done? Accept the relative world as a source of relative happiness. So what is relative happiness? Thode gam hai, thodi khushiyan. Sometimes you get the things what you want. Sometimes you don't get the things what you want. See? Then all the problems will dissolve. There was a person, Mr. and Mrs. Gupta, a family, and it was their 40th wedding anniversary. So the whole town came and they were honored and great things were said about Mr. Gupta and Gupti. I don't know the feminine gender, so Gupti. And then they said, Gupta ji, we have never heard that in last 40 years of your married life, you had any difference of opinion between you, what is the secret? So Gupta looked at Gupti, Gupti nodded. And then Gupta Uvacha, Gupta restarted. Dear friends, the secret of our peaceful and happy coexistence is, she goes her way, I go her way. That's the problem. When I versus you, in versus out starts, misery begins. Therefore, please remember basic principle of life. We have to learn from every experience of our life. Many people come and ask us, Swamiji, and please don't make fun of us. I said, I don't have to make. You are self-sufficient. Do you give me Naam? Naam Diksha? I said, yes, you are Bevakoof. No, not that. Naam Diksha means give me some mantra. Why you don't have any mantra? I have got mantra but nothing has happened. Okay, give powerful mantra? Yes. Start after me. What is that? Dhum dhadaka, powerful mantra. Don't cheat yourself. The real Guru is every experience that the God gives us. Don't seek outside anything. See? Or else you will get caught up. A person who cannot learn from his own experiences, even God cannot teach them. Now, if this principle is clear, now let us come in or get out. And how this we do? We do this thing on the foundation of analyzing and evaluating our personal experiences without any bias. I shall not tell you to believe because I tell you. Many people say, Swamiji, please, I have already that way adopted you as my Guru, but you should now accept me as your disciple. I said, forget about it. I don't know to carry load in my suitcase. Now what is that? Don't believe. Be sincere in evaluating your own experiences. And if you are convinced, have the courage and guts to change yourself. Who is a spiritual seeker? Spiritual seeker is he or she who is ready to change and able to change if discovered to be wrong. See? Then only we are walking the path. Actually, you know, Swamiji, I know cigarette smoking is bad, but I can't leave smoking. You tell me something. Then do one thing. You make a cigarette out of gold. It should be at least half a kilogram. And in that, stuff in the cigarette, light it, and offer it to me. So all the sins and problems of your cigarette smoking will come to me, and thereafter you will stop smoking because of the golden cigarette that you have given me. Don't become a weakling. Please understand, spiritual practice is readiness to change. Presently, we have accepted we are a body. And if Our analysis and your experiences will prove that you are someone other. Are you ready to change? No, that is all true, Swamiji, what you say. To be happy, we should be happy, but you get married and show us how to be happy. Meaning, I am happy because I am not married and you are miserable because you are married. Therefore, it is natural to be miserable. What will I do? Tathastu, continue. Don't justify you are miserable. Now let us analyze our experiences. We all want to sleep. And we all sleep. Many a times, even in the satsang. Isn't it? We all sleep. Now, what is the reason why we want to sleep? See? Now, to understand this, take an example. I am a Sindhi. Who is a Sindhi? Who lives not with wife but with papad. Sindhi is one for whom papad is tvameva mata cha pita tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva. So that papad brand Sindhi I am. And what is the weight of a papad? Hardly a gram or even less. Now if I hold that papad like this, what is the weight? Hardly there is any weight. But even after holding that papad for 5, 6, 10 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 6 hours, my hand will get tired, is it not? So what will I do? Being an original Sindhi, I will eat the papad. Or else I will drop the papad. Now, when the papad I was holding, who was tired? Me or papad? It was me, I was tired. In the same manner, our mind, be extremely attentive, our mind, taking the shape of our body, creates a sense of separateness. And an illusion that I am inside the body and therefore everything is outside the body. And the world is created. So what is the world? World is a field of experience where inside and outside is a reality. Next step. When I am holding the papad, my mind gets tired, I get tired, I drop it. In the same manner, my mind holding on to one particular body shape for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, gets tired. Then what the mind does? Mind drops the body. When the mind drops the body, the mind is no more holding the shape of the body. And therefore, in deep sleep, we are not identified with our body. In deep sleep, our mind is merged with the total mind. Be very attentive. That time you are inside the room or outside the room. That time you are on the bed or below the bed. That time you are in Ahmedabad or in Baroda. That time you are in 2005 or 1942. Don't stop. That time you are a man or a woman. That time you are educated or uneducated. That time you are a guru or a disciple. all the problems are null and void. What sadhana you have done for that? No sadhana. But one thing has happened. And what is that? Your mind has given up the shape and the form of your body. See? Be extremely attentive. It's a very subtle subject. We are in this hall. In our house, how much money we spend on wall paintings, then various decoration pieces, various fixtures. But where do we live? In the space. We spend lot of money on the walls. You know, Swamiji, this wall, decoration costed me at least $1 million. So I hang myself on the wall. No. We all live in the space. And because of the walls around, I imagine that I am inside the house. And if the walls are pulled out, I continue to be as I am. Because I was never living in the walls or on the walls. In the same manner, we are all living not in the body but in the mind. But when this small hall, conditioned by the walls, if there is a dead rat in this room, it will stink. And in the total space, when you pull the walls, the whole world may be rotting. There is no stink. In the same manner, when our mind is thinking in terms of one body, it stinks. And that stink of the mind with reference to one body is called as misery. See? And we all know this, but we don't know that we know. And that is why when we sleep, what we do is exactly this. Give up the body identification. The moment the body identification is given up, the mind merges with the total mind. And merging of the mind with the total mind is like what? When your room is very stuffy and stinky and all that, what you do? You open all the windows and all that. Now the space and the air in your room merges with the total and you feel the freshness. In the same manner, when the mind merges with the total mind, then after you wake up from your sleep, what is your experience? Hey, I am very fresh. So what you have done? Exercise in the sleep. Meditation in the sleep. See? Please understand. Many people suffer because of meditation. Meditation is not an action to be done. Meditation is not a verb. Once I was going from one place to Bombay, from nearby suburb, Dahisar or somewhere. And I was sitting and there was a seat free next to me, long time back, 20-25 years before. One youngster got into the train. Oh, Swamiji, how are you? I said, I'm fine. Do you deal in meditation? I said, wholesale. Can you tell me something about meditation? I said, I can tell you everything. Why something? But see, I got very little time. Next station I am getting down. Tell me quickly, how to do meditation? I said, when your station come, tell me, I'll tell you that time. Because I'll tell you quickly, quick meditation. See, that is the station. Now train has become slow. I said, okay. Jump out, go to the chemist, buy a drum of sleeping pills, empty that drum in you. you will be ever in meditation. See, meditation is not an action. Meditation is not an achievement. Spiritual growth is not becoming special, losing all the speciality. See, eyes are healthy if they are able to see every color and form without getting influenced by any color and form, isn't it? If my eyes are influenced by one particular color and form, then what will happen? That particular color and form will bias my vision of the other things, is it not? But what is our natural state? Be very attentive. Our natural state is the illuminator. Eyes are the illuminator and colors and forms are the illumined. What is the law? Illuminator is never influenced by what is illumined. Our ears can hear the words of wisdom as well as the abuses. But ears are not influenced. Our nose can smell dirty as well as the fragrance. Nose is not influenced by any smell. One step further. Our mind can experience miseries as well as joy. Our mind has noble as well as ignoble thoughts. So, mind is not influenced by good or bad thoughts. Go one step further. Consciousness illuminates waking, dream, and deep sleep. In the dream, Mr. Waker is absent. There is a Mr. Dreamer. In the deep sleep, Waker and Dreamer both are absent. In the waking experience, Dreamer and Deep Sleeper are absent. But there is one common denominator, and that is conscious existence, Chaitana Satta, which supports the waking, the dream and the deep sleep, and therefore is not influenced by any one of them. Now in this conscious existence, where is I inside the body and where is you outside the body? The moment this riddle is solved, you rise above all the problems of relativity. Now take for example, you take the path of yoga, take the path of meditation, take the path of dharma, take the path of Siddha Marga. In all of them, I is maintained intact. See, you watch, these are the things worth analyzing, understanding, and thereafter changing your own perspective of life. Earlier, I was a bhogi. Since Swamiji, I started yoga, now I don't do bhoga. So who are you? Now I is a yogi. Earlier, I was bachelor. Now I is married. Earlier, I was poor. Now I is married. Be very attentive. And when I have got lot of money, now I am no more poor. So what will I do with my money? I will like to help those who are poor people. Extend the same principle. Earlier I was the victim of matter, my senses, my mind. Now by my yoga sadhana, I have controlled my mind, my senses. Therefore, now I am all powerful. So what do? I bless those who are dear to me and I curse those who are not dear to me. What is the difference? Don't we come across such things? See, that Mahatma Ji, he is a great Mahatma. Go carefully, he'll become angry otherwise. And if he will curse you, it is gone. I versus you is maintained. Now take an example. Your teeth bite your tongue. Will your tongue curse the teeth? Will your tongue take the teeth to the dentist? Dentist bhai. Hatao. No. Then if something is sticking in between the teeth and the tongue comes, come out. That time will the teeth say, thank you so much, okay? No. Because the teeth and the tongue may appear to be two, but they are one. Think, friends. See, last time I told here autobiography of a Gujarati. You must have read autobiography of a yogi, Yogananda's book, isn't it? And there are many miracles in that. We get so enchanted by the miracles. And that is why we get carried away by the wrong means. So, I wrote a book called as an autobiography of a Gujarati. Very short book. Every Gujarati is born in Navsari. So I was born in Navsari. Then I feel, what is there in Navsari? Let me go to Ahmedabad. So I, the Gujarati, goes to Ahmedabad. After he comes to Ahmedabad, he is never happy. Then Gujarati goes to Mumbai. Gujarati never goes to Bombay. He goes to Mumbai. Mumbai Samachar, it's a Gujarati newspaper. So he goes to Mumbai. After going to Mumbai, I is not happy there. Then I want to go to America, next destination. So the Gujarati goes to America. Is he happy there? No. Then I want to have a green card. Then the Gujarati gets the green card. Is he happy? I want to have the citizenship. And he gets the citizenship. By then, 65 years are over. Then at that age, I want to go back to Navsari. See? What this I has done? I has changed the first conditioning of Navsari, gone to the second conditioning of Ahmedabad, from there to the third conditioning of Mumbai, fourth conditioning of USA, fifth conditioning of green card, sixth conditioning of the citizenship, and ultimately, laut ke buddhu ghar ko aaye. And after having come to India, what next? Constantly thinking about the infrastructure of USA and the terrible infrastructure of India. And when he was in USA, that time talking about every time the intra-beauty of India and intra-fracture of America. And we think we are leading a very intelligent life. Friends, the culprit is this I. All paths be it your dharma, yoga, siddha, they are only trying to change the conditionings, but they never discover the truth. And therefore, cursing or blessing. Because I versus you. See? But who is this I? They never inquire into. Therefore, friends, this I versus you is an illusion. Inside versus outside is an illusion. Now tell me, I'll ask you a question. You are all seeing me. Now where are you seeing me? Inside you or outside you? Think. We never think such funny things. Now second thing, are you seeing me? Or you are seeing the light reflected on my face? Third, are you seeing the light reflected on my face, or you are seeing the image which is formed on your retina through your lenses? What you are seeing is nothing which is outside. And inside what you are seeing, not the original object, only the image. So all our inside, outside is imaginary. It is not real. Think. And once you are clear about it, your approach to life will change. What is the change in the approach to life? Bhagavan Sri Krishna does this job in the whole of Bhagavad Gita. What is the problem? Bhagavad Gita answers only one problem. And the problem is identity crisis. Who we are. Whether a grandson or a disciple or a warrior or a brother-in-law or a brother or a cousin. There are four options. Who you are. Grandson, A. B. Disciple. C. Brothers. D. A warrior. Tell the reply. I am a grandson to Bhishmacharya. Are you sure? Lock kar de. Computer ji. Tell the reply. Hey, wrong, out. See, unless we rectify our identity, we are only struggling on the spiritual path. The other day, one person came to meet me, and he came from Thane with one of his friends. And he said, Swamiji, he is my friend and his Kundalini is awakened and all the chakras are open. He wants to talk to you. I said, is he dumb? No, he can talk, so let him talk. I don't accept the client's true advocate. Then he said, Swamiji, my all chakras are open and my Kundalini is awakened. You know, but what happened? My guru who did it for me, he died. Now I am again an orphan. So I have come to you, so please guide me further. And I started laughing, roaring. He said, Swamiji, why are you laughing? I said, by opening your chakras and awakening your Kundalini, you have killed one guru. Now you have come to eat me. I am not going to do that. Go away. No, but what should I do with my open chakras? What will I do if my buttons are open? Close them. It doesn't look good. Friends, you tell me, you do all your sadhana. You sit for meditation. Swamiji, I sit for meditation every day 4 hours. Nothing happens. I said, why nothing happens? Really, there is no change. There is change. Why? Others are happy when you are in meditation. At least that 4 hours, there is peace in the world. This is what is meant. When you do meditation, there is peace, because this you trouble monger is out of the world. Go inside. See. Please make it very clear. All spiritual practice is recognizing your identity. The whole Bhagavad Gita, when Bhagavan Sri Krishna told Arjuna did not do Karma Yoga. Arjuna did not do Ashtanga Yoga. Shuchodeshe pratisthapya sthiramasanamaatmanaha natyuchritam nati nijam chailajana kushottaram tatraikagram manakrutva mana. Nothing he did. He did not do meditation. He did not chant the Lord's name. He did not study books. Nothing. And at the end, Bhagavan Sri Krishna asked, Khopdi mein kuch prakash pada? What Arjun says? Nashto mohaha smritir labdha tvat prasadat mayachyuta. O Lord, I have caught my mistake. And mistake was identity crisis. Now be very attentive. We all are disturbed whenever we have become somebody. Don't go and complain. And there's a lot of, my mind is so disturbed and I give one. Anyway crying. Isn't it? Don't cry. But Arjuna cried in Bhagavad Gita. Isn't it? Arjuna says that Gandivam sramsate hastat tvakchaiva paridayyate naja shaknomyavasthatum brahmati vajame manaha nimittani japashyami viparitani keshava. Bhagavan Krishna did not join with tabla peti and to sing this miserable thing. You know what Bhagavan said? Klaibhyam asmagam apartha nai tattvai upapadyate. Arjun, don't yield to impotency. Nayam atma balaheenena labhyaha. The truth is not for the dropouts of life. You have to succeed and give up the success. Then that is dispassion. A beggar says, I am follower of Mahatma Gandhi. Majburi ka naam Mahatma Gandhi. What else? Therefore, we have to be very clear all the problems that we face in our life because we have become somebody or the other. Now see, whenever you are disturbed, immediately catch, I am disturbed as what? So you will see, when you have become husband, wife is the cause of your disturbance. When you have become wife, husband is the cause of your disturbance. When you have become a father, the children are the cause of your disturbance. When you have become an officer, the subordinates are the cause of disturbance. When you have become rich or poor, money is the cause of your disturbance. When you want to travel, getting visa is the cause of disturbance. See? And when you are nobody, as in deep sleep, there is no disturbance. So what is the conclusion? Conclusion is, whenever we have become somebody, we have sown the seeds of disturbance. You know, one day one lady came to me in Bombay. Swamiji, normally I am all right, but whenever I sit for meditation, I get so horrible, dirty thoughts, I don't know what I should do. Then what is your conclusion? Conclusion is meditation is the cause of dirty thoughts. Then I say stop. But I can't stop it. Then continue. But dirty thoughts are coming. Then stop. But I can't stop. Continue. See? Who can help such a person? We are not ready to think, understand, analyze. That whenever we have become somebody, thoughts begin. So what is the spiritual practice? Stop becoming anybody and be just nobody. But what we do? We become meditator. And then we do meditation. And then we have to put a board outside, meditation in progress, take a detour. That meditation which begins and ends is a cartoon of meditation. Meditation is not an act which is done. Your becoming husband or wife is an act. But your being is not an act. So when you become somebody, so you have gone inside your body and everything other than you is outside. Then what is the struggle? The struggle is outer world should change according to inner me and then I will be happy. So what we do? Everyone, we want to improve the world. We want to change the world. There was a great master in Bombay. He used to say, all those who have come to save the world, they were shaved off. You cannot improve this world. One day, one person, very frustrated people become philosopher. So, one philosopher type person came, Swamiji, I want to discuss something with you. I said, I don't want to discuss. Over. No, I want to know when your Krishna is going to take avatar. I said, you ask him. I am not his secretary. He is my secretary. No, please tell. Is it not the right time? Can there be any worse time than today? That he should wait for taking avatar and descend in this earth? I said, how do you say like that? Earlier, do you think the world was not that bad as it is today? Yes. Very good. Afterwards, the world will not be worse than what it is today? Yes, it can't be worse than today. Very good. Were you there before? No. Will you be there afterwards? No. Now you are? Yes. So who is the cause of today's worse world? Only you. You change. And what we have to change, see, it's such a beautiful thing. What we have to change? We have to change our identity. See? And what is changing the identity? Changing the identity is playing the role of identity. There was a husband who had a fight with the wife at home, and in that fighting mood he left and went for his office. And after he reached office, when he has gone to office, who is he? Officer. But that day he forgot to leave the husband at home. He carried the husband with him. And the subordinate, the secretary, very good rapport, he gave an application, "Dear sir, I have to take half a day casual leave. I'll come after lunch because I had to take my wife to the medical checkup." The moment he read the word wife, it was enough to trigger an inferno. Nothing happens to the wives. You don't have to go. Are you a Rashtrapati or what? Nothing happens to the wives. Now why? Because when he came from home, wife was so much on his nerves, the moment he read the word wife, he was ready to get upset. So the subordinate thought, what happened today? Normally the boss comes, is very nice. Today suddenly what happened? Now what happened? Nothing happened to the boss. But there was identity crisis. Boss was sitting in the chair, but who was expressing was a husband. Now see this principle. The father is sitting in the chair, but the minister is expressing as a helping hand to the son. Father has no authority. Who is helping the son is the father, who has no authority. But the same father who is a minister, he has all the authority. So what he is doing? He is borrowing the authority of the minister's post and helping his son. All samsara begins. If there is no identity crisis on the seat of a minister, my primary duty is welfare of the society. There cannot be corruption. Now see the logic. Helping one's son, is it wrong? It's not wrong. But are you helping your son as a father? No. You are helping your son in the capacity of a minister. See the difference. Once we understand this intricacy of our personality, you will dissolve all the problems. Therefore, friends, again and again, instead of struggling on the seat of meditation, and I don't know, when I sit for meditation, afterwards I get terrible headache and I feel so very nauseating and I get some kind of jhatkas and I see green light, yellow light and all that thing. Don't get lost by this. Discover your identity. Then you will come to know. First, whenever you were nobody, as in deep sleep, you were happy. See? But what is the approach of the Western world? You hit a tennis shot properly. After that, I. And this I has gone so deep in our system that we have opened a bank. I see, I. See? And all the problems are because of this only, no other problem. Therefore, if we really want to attain a perfect balance, inner peace and outer peace, we have to give up this boundary line which is creating something in, something out. Meaning, don't start living on the boundary line of conditions and conditionings. The body conditioning creates an illusion, I am inside the body and everything is outside the body. Now see the result. Result is, I am other than you. Therefore, first thing, I am afraid of you. dvitiyat vai bhayam bhavati. Just imagine the President of the United States and this Al-Qaeda fellows, they just happen to sleep together. Imagine. Both of them in deep sleep. Will they fight? Because all the differences dissolve. And when they are not sleeping, there is nothing but fight. So let us address the basic cause. The basic cause is whenever we are identified with the body, we start thinking in relation to the body. It is something like this. You must have seen a big ship going in the sea, sailing, and if there are small boats behind, they don't need a towing rope. By the very pull of the water, all the boats just follow that big ship, is it not? In the same manner, when the mind is identified with one particular body, the mind will start thinking in relation to that body alone. And then who gets tired is not the body, it is the mind who gets tired. Then what the mind does? Drops the body shape. The moment the mind drops the body shape, the mind merges with the total mind and it is fresh. But we don't learn from our experiences. Therefore, friends, inner and outer peace is meant for everyone, and it cannot be gained as long as relativity is kept intact. You have to get out of the relativity and come in the absolute. The attempt of the people to change the world or walk the spiritual path is like what you know. On the flowing Ganges, I sit down on the bank, take a long stick and start hitting the water. Somebody comes and asks me, "Hey Swamiji, what are you doing?" No, I am making a line on this Ganges so that this side is Bihar and this side is UP. I may spend my whole life beating the water to draw a line. It can never be successful. In the same manner, to keep our body identification, to keep the sense of otherness intact, to keep the imagination that we are the body and imagine that we will be at peace within and without is impossible. See? This is what all those who do meditation, they do this. What they do, there should not be thoughts in the mind. One person came and told, Swami, whenever I sit for meditation, very many thoughts come, what I should do? I said, where do the thoughts come? In the mind. Oh, then it is a problem. I thought they are coming in the nose. You know what is the struggle of these so-called meditators? I want to keep my eyes open, but I should not see you all. Why struggle? Close your eyes. No. I want to keep the eyes open, but I should not see somebody. Are dumb? You are going the wrong way. As long as the mind is identified with your gross body, the mind will think. You cannot stop it. At the moment the mind is disidentified from the gross body, you cannot think with reference to body. See, this is the basic principle. Therefore, what should be the scheme of meditation now? The scheme of meditation should be anything which will help us in disidentification from the gross body is the right direction. Now see the consequence. When I consider myself to be rich or poor, what is important for me? Money. When I think myself to be young or old, man or woman, what is important for me? Body. When I think myself to be happy or miserable, lonely or crowded, what is the conditioning? The mind. So I think myself to be mind. So we look at the world with what we have understood ourselves to be. When I consider myself to be rich, if you ask an American to classify the world, he will classify the world overdeveloped America and never develop India. See the difference? And the one who has discovered himself to be this conscious, homogeneous, undivided, blissful existence, for him there is nothing but this reality. Bhagavad Gita tells in Bhagavad Gita, in the 6th chapter, Atmaupamena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna sukham vajadi va dukkham sa yogi paramo mataha. He is a param yogi. He who is able to see the world as he sees himself. Isn't it? And then what is yoga? Definition of yoga. He is not sitting in a most unenviable posture and suffering. Yoga is tam vidya dukkha sanyogam viyogam yoga sanjnitam sa nishchayena yoktavyaha yogaha anirvinna chetasa. Refuse to be miserable. When miseries arrive in your life, that is called as yoga. To be a yogi, to be a meditator, and to be miserable is contradiction in terms. See, somebody will come to you and say, I am, the son of Mrs. Gandhi, and, and I am very hungry. Can you give me 2 rupees to take one vada pav? How contradiction in terms? It cannot be. If you are really walking spiritual path, if you are on the right direction, first symptom, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. You will be cheerful and happy in spite of the whole world. But normally, I do this meditation, but nobody listens to me, and I want to tell people, they don't listen to me. You will not believe if I tell you something. One person wrote me an email and said, Swamiji, like you, I am also a Brahmagyani. But nobody appreciates me. So I want to know what is your marketing strategy so that I can market myself on the TV, and now so many people know you, they will know me also, and then they will get benefited from my Brahmagyan. Now tell me, when you get these kinds of letters, what will you reply? See? So I wrote him back. I said, you have mistaken, I am not a Brahmagyani, I am the Ajnana Shiromani. And Brahmagyani is never recognized by the world. And you are not recognized. Therefore, you are definitely a Brahmagyani. So don't run after recognition. The moment you are recognized, you will be like, deleted from the list of Brahmagyanis. It's good. You are not known to the world. This is the secret of a Brahmagyani. Keep it to yourself. Therefore, friends, in and out is only an illusion when importance is given to the conditionings. For the space, there is nowhere to go. All going and coming is in the space. For the space, there is nothing like east, north, west, south. It is because of the conditioning of the sun and earth. For the space, there is nothing like inside and outside. In the same manner, in this conscious space, there is no concept of in and out. When you discover this absolute truth, then alone there will be peace. Or else we will be struggling only for small pieces here and there, and we will never get it. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.